Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod as well. Now, here are your hosts, Craig and Aaron.
Hello, Internets. Welcome into the Best Things Podcast. My name is Craig. Sitting next to me, as he is every other week, whether we're recording or not, we just come in here and sit down. Aaron Brooks. How are we doing, Aaron? Tired of talking yet? That's an Easter egg to our previous episode.
No, I have a feeling that today is gonna cause me to be hungry.
Yes. I'm already hungry. I haven't had lunch yet or anything.
Today I ate a few tablespoons of cottage cheese and some everything bagel cashews.
I also had some everything bagel, but on some toast.
Oh, everything toast.
Everything toast.
What do you put in your everything? Was it just a made-up seasoning?
Yeah, it was just like a Trader Joe's kind of thing. Today, though, our appetites are going to swell. The reason Aaron's saying that he thinks he's going to be hungry, today we're revisiting one of our favorite foods, which we still have not done that episode. That's coming at some point where we go through that'll be like a mega, maybe multi-episodal. We go through our lists of our favorite foods. We've got a few of those on the docket, like favorite movies of all the big categories. Those will take multiple episodes, but we're revisiting what is definitely one of our favorites. We did a whole episode on steak or beef last year, the year before at some point, but this time we're narrowing it down to just restaurants that have steak. And we're going beyond just the steak, and we're going to talk about all the other things that these restaurants may have available. And so, yes, I'm going to leave this very, very hungry. Because I think most of these, I don't know that there's a bad one in the bunch. At least the ones that I've looked through.
Well.
Really?
Well. Yeah.
Okay.
I have some thoughts.
Okay, we're gonna get into it then, and I want to hear these thoughts right out of the gate. So let's get into it.
Before we can figure out the best thing, we have to talk about all the things. It's time for the thing about the things.
Aaron, you've piqued my interest early. I'm very curious as to what steak place you want to poo on.
You want me just to...
Yeah, let it rip.
Right out of the gate?
Yeah, well, let's get the worst thing out of the way first.
Okay. This one is fairly recent. And it was with you, actually. Yeah.
Hi, I'm me.
It was our first time there at Logan's Roadhouse in Conway.
Yeah.
And the steak that I had there was probably at the bottom of the national chain steakhouses.
Yeah.
It would, like I said, it was our first and only experience with a Logan's Roadhouse. So maybe your Logan Roadhouse isn't this way. Maybe that one's not that way all the time. It was not. We were there at an off time. It was not particularly busy, but I don't know. They killed my steak.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
just really kind of from start to end. We didn't have great service that
we did not have great
day.
service, which you can't blame that on the entire restaurant.
No.
You think, but then again, Chick-fil-A has a culture of great service.
That is true.
There are certain restaurants that have great cultures.
Exactly. But so I'm willing to kind of overlook that. At some point, I'll probably go back and give it another try, just because I don't want that to be the lasting impression of the restaurant that I had. But just all around, the steak, it was a ribeye steak, and it wasn't cooked good. I wasn't happy with it. And we had at that point kind of waited so long for the meal that I wasn't going to send it back and ask anything to be changed.
That was my first time having steak there.
Okay.
I have had other things there and loved it.
That may be, if I went back again, I don't know. I'd be a little gun shy to order another steak.
Right.
I'd probably try something different.
Because I mean, my steak, you got the bone in, right?
I had the bone-in ribeye.
And see, I did not have a bone in, but I had a ribeye, and it was seasoned well. It tasted good. It was also overcooked. It was very thin. Like it was a very thin cut steak.
I was so surprised. That's not what I expected when that thing showed up. I mean, there was no undercooking that steak.
What was it, like a 12 or 16? It was probably a 12-ounce steak, and you're expecting, a little less wide and long and more thick. And yeah, I mean, there's a reason it was overcooked, is because it was. I don't even think it may have been half an inch, maybe. I don't think it hit an inch.
No, it was not an inch. It was well in the half-inch range. It was going to be difficult to not overcook that steak. Yeah, it wasn't.
So as you can tell, we are not. None of these are going to be sponsored restaurants. We're giving our honest opinion on a lot of these.
Yes.
And unlike some other YouTube channels, we don't have all the things in front of us to test them all right in front of you. So we're going off memory and our experiences for our audio audience.
I was hoping for more than what I got from that.
Yeah.
We started with a shrimp that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know, was it a bang bang shrimp or something like that? It was good there.
Yeah.
But
which I was about to say, for being a steakhouse, you expect more, but I guess it's not technically a steakhouse, right? It's Logan's Roadhouse.
But
they lean steak, obviously.
Yes, just like another Roadhouse that we will talk about. You think of them, steak's number one on the brain, right?
But we can go through some of their other offerings and things like that. I know one of Lauren's favorite things there that was apparently a seasonal thing. It was not available when we went there together.
No.
We fell in love with it on the way to Florida one year. We stopped in, I don't even remember where we stopped. We were just looking for some food. It may have been in Florida, maybe on the way out. And we stopped by, and there was this mashed potatoes, or not mashed potatoes, a meatloaf slider. It came in like 3 little sliders. It had meatloaf with mashed potato on it, and it was great. It was a meatloaf sandwich. You can't go wrong with that.
A meatloaf sandwich is so good.
And it was fantastic. I think I had a burger that time. So, I mean, our experience there, that's why we went there. Our experience there was great. The food was good. The energy was great. Like I said, I never had a steak there, though. And that's kind of where this episode is not going to be limited to steaks, but we're talking about places that have steaks.
Yeah, sort of that casual chain steakhouse.
Yeah, these will be chains. Now, you may not, and there may be some we leave off that chain is just not available here. We've never been to it. We may mention some that you've never heard of because that chain's not available to you either. So keep those caveats in the back pocket.
There are no doubt, though, probably some very good steakhouses.
Oh, yes.
That aren't going to even be mentioned today.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that we're trying to really kind of go broad with major places that everybody probably has heard of.
Yeah.
So, Logan's, it left me wanting a whole lot more.
Logan's, fun fact, was founded in 1991 in Lexington, Kentucky. That's where you think of when you think of steak. It's Lexington, Kentucky. Known for its casual dining atmosphere, peanuts in buckets, which is a thing, like with steak places. Why did that become a thing? Peanuts in the bucket.
I don't know.
And then
I wonder if they used to let you throw them on the floor.
They did used to do that.
That was a big thing. And then people got peanut allergies.
I guess so.
Where were all the peanut allergy people before?
It just apparently all started.
We had a lot of fun just throwing peanut shells all over restaurants.
Yeah, I miss those days.
It was fun.
Those were great. I'm sure the servers,
the people who work there probably are so glad that they don't do that anymore.
We don't have to sweep up these dang peanut shells anymore.
I remember kind of going to the first place after that was no longer a thing and throwing peanut shells on the floor, and somebody was like, "Oh, you can't throw those on the floor anymore."
We don't do that anymore.
Like, oh, well, there should have been a sign somewhere like,
right, yeah,
we no longer throw peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah, that became a tradition for so long, and then you just immediately stopped it. I mean, that was fairly recently, like maybe 10 years ago.
I was going to say it's been within the decade. It feels like.
I mean, that was iconic. 90% of those casual steak places did that.
One of my gripes with Logan's outside of the steak was I ordered mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Call back to our last episode and our rating.
Yeah.
I like a good mac and cheese. Theirs was not a good mac and cheese. And it was a premium side. So
okay.
you paid.
Ooh, we're about to get into it. I am over these restaurants making those not premium side dishes now all of a sudden premium. They're just, can you just be honest with us? Instead of calling it a premium side dish, call it a popular side dish, because that's all it is. It's the most popular things that you have. You have just shifted over from your normal side dish menu where it's included with the meal into your little caveat of saying these are now premium. No, they're just popular, so you can throw an extra $2 on top of it and get me to buy it because you know I want it.
Here's what they're serving as premium sides for a little extra, it says. Aforementioned mac and cheese, cheesy Parmesan rice, cinnamon apples, soup of the day, loaded mashed potatoes, loaded baked potato, loaded sweet potato.
None of those are premium to me. Not a single one of those. Maybe the soup of the day.
Yeah, I could see soup maybe costing you a little extra.
Maybe, but none of those. No, they're just popular. That's always grinded my gears, is when you go to these restaurants and the side dishes that you want are always shoved over to that premium side because they want you to pay more.
So I went ahead and paid, I think, $2 extra for the mac and cheese. And when it came out, it was, I think Kraft mac and cheese would have been better. It was just bland. The noodles were mushy. Mm-hmm. And it was like a box mac and cheese. Like, if you're going to charge me the extra, it better be special mac and cheese.
It better have some crust. Better have some crumbles on top.
Oh,
oven baked deep cheese.
This was bad mac and cheese.
Deep cheese flavor. And if I remember, did they do bread?
They did bring us some bread. Finally,
I'm trying to remember what kind of bread it was. I don't know if it was anything
it was the
special.
loaf. It was the cut. It was very much like Outback bread.
Okay,
what it reminded me of.
Was it brown bread?
I think it was.
So yeah, I mean, Logan's nothing to write home about. Not going to make our list. But again, all of these are going to be based on our experiences and probably vary from location to location. You may say Logan's is the best place in the world. Every time I go to mine, it's amazing and it's the best thing ever. Great.
Tell me out there,
yes,
the next time I go, because I'm going to try it again. But tell me, other than a steak, what should I try? What does Logan's do good?
That's a great question.
What's a safe option to go with next time?
Yeah, what's always a banger?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to Chili's, those chicken tenders, those chicken crispers, those are always a banger.
I get it that steaks, you're counting on whoever is in the back that they're going to be able to cook your steak correctly.
But don't you assume that most restaurants are sous videing?
Holding them at that temperature and then...
Because you can hold that there for a couple hours, at least an hour. You would think most restaurants are doing that at this point.
I don't know. I don't know if you think that the chains are doing that?
That seems like the obvious thing to do if I'm a chain.
I mean, I would be.
Go ahead and have it ready, have it cooked to temp, and then that way you can just throw it on the grill.
Sear it off.
And if you run out of those, okay, well, you still have a grill you can throw on there. But
that's what I would be doing. I don't know if they are.
So why are we overcooking? It's probably because it's 20-year-olds who aren't sure, and they're, well, it's no disrespect to any of those food workers. Y'all are just trying to make a living.
No,
we blame it on your upper management for not training you properly.
Yeah, there we go. Those people.
Let's talk about some good ones though. So we have, in case you're new here, we have a bracket here listed on. It's on my iPad right here. We each get to pick 4 things. In this case, steakhouses or steakhouse adjacent restaurants. And at the end of this episode, we take those things and we go head to head, March Madness style, to determine which one is the best. And it will have to go up against mac and cheese, which is our 2-time. Go ahead.
No.
Champion. Go ahead.
I'm just listening to you talk.
Yeah, I thought you were just itching to hit the button.
No, I was just waiting for you to talk about whatever you're going to talk about next in case I wanted to hit the button.
That's it. I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Give us something.
I gave you Logan's.
Oh, you want me to go?
Yeah, I wanted you to give us one.
Okay. I'm gonna take Longhorn Steakhouse for my number one.
I hate you.
Longhorn might be the best of the national chain.
No, I'm gonna tell you right now, it is the best. It is the best.
Let's talk about it then. Longhorn has not ever. I have never been there and it's missed.
That's my experience. I have been to multiple locations in multiple states.
Yep.
And every time I've been to a Longhorn, it has been consistently on point.
Yeah. It's just good. The sides are fantastic. They're always great. The steaks have always been perfectly cooked and very well seasoned. You can get them different ways. They've got great bread that you get beforehand. It comes with salad. The whole experience. And here's the thing I like about Longhorn, and this is true with a couple of others on this list, but Longhorn seems to be the most this way. The vibe you get when you walk in, it feels like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It's nice.
But you don't have to be dressed up to go there either. So it's something you can go as a nice date night with your significant other and enjoy that kind of vibe, or it can be something you go to after a day at the mall and you're just tired. You just need some good food. We've done both.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We went for Valentine's there in Northwest Arkansas a few years ago.
Really?
I did the smart thing and joined their wait list ahead of time.
Yes.
And we hung out at our hotel because it was like a 2.5 hour wait. So we hung out there for 2 hours and then showed up and waited our last 15 to 30 minutes.
Genius.
There was a line of people out the door. And I yeah, absolutely. And I got some dirty looks as we were just kind of like walking past people.
You felt like a VIP. Just
like,
walking
peasants, get out of the way. Take me to my corner booth. Yeah. And then, so after we sat down, I looked, it was over a 3 hour wait. And I'm thinking there's people that are going to sit here for hours and hours and hours, So we thought ahead, but it was clearly for a Valentine's night, they were slam packed. And I think that's a mark of a place. If you're gonna have a bad night, you don't want it to be that special of an occasion. But if you're gonna have a bad night, it's gonna be a night where they're so slammed that they're trying to just sling stuff out.
Yeah.
It was not that way. They had fantastic service from beginning to end. Everything was hot. Didn't feel like they just rushed anything. It was timely. It was a perfect experience on one of their busiest nights of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't miss. They started in 1981 in Atlanta, Georgia. Again, not necessarily the place you think of when you think of steaks, but a former restaurant executive who wanted to create a casual steakhouse experience inspired by the American West is when it came to be.
I have a gripe with Longhorn, though.
Okay.
I said they're the best, but I'm going to put an asterisk there. I don't think they have the best bread. They don't have the best free bread.
Really?
Nope.
Who does?
We'll talk about that.
We'll get to it.
I am a little underwhelmed by their offering in that.
Is it just like a white loaf?
It's a wheat loaf, I think, if I remember right. One of my biggest complaints, though, it's fine for bread.
But I mean, do you want to fill up on the bread, or you want to enjoy the rest of it?
Well, that's always the hard part. They want you to fill up on the bread.
That's true.
But the biggest complaint that I have is every time I've been there, when they bring out the bread, I've always had like really hard butter.
Oh, okay. They're not softening the butter?
Give me a soft butter. It doesn't spread.
That's true.
So I think it's inferior bread and then really hard butter. That's a problem. Now, let's talk about mac and cheese there, because I have had their mac and cheese, and it was really good.
It was good mac and cheese.
They charge you $2.79 to add it. Now, listen to their premium sides. Tell me if you think these are worth paying $2.79 for.
This is what the episode's going to be. It's going to be us judging their sides.
Yeah.
Because we could talk about steaks. You know the different kinds of cuts of steaks. We've talked about them endlessly.
We named ribeye the best, and that's my go-to order.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm ordering a ribeye, and they do theirs wonderfully. It's seasoned. I like everything about it.
Great.
All right, they have Steakhouse mac and cheese. It's those cavatappi kind of curly noodles with a white mac and cheese sauce, breadcrumbs on top.
So here's my question, real quick. Do they? This is what I want to see more restaurants do, and I don't know if they do this or not. If you're gonna have a premium side,
They have a lower option of the same thing?
yes.
No, they don't.
So have a basic mac and cheese and then a nice mac and cheese. That's what premium means to me. Extra, something different.
Okay.
At least their mac and cheese is different.
Yeah, it's a high quality, high end mac and cheese, sort of a southwestern vibe to it. It's got a little spice kick to it in there.
Absolutely.
So they have that. Then you can add for also $2.79 crispy Brussels sprouts,
They're very good.
fresh steamed asparagus,
I don't know that I would put that as premium.
strawberry salad,
Sounds premium.
loaded potatoes, bowl of loaded potato soup,
Again, soups I would consider a premium thing.
$2.99, shrimp lobster chowder, $2.99,
Absolutely premium. There we go.
Southwest chicken soup, $2.99. I would say that their sides, because you can get broccoli, sweet potato, they're not charging you extra for a loaded baked potato.
See, smart, good on them.
That's good.
Yes.
So you can get if you want it plain, you can get it, or you can get it loaded. Same with sweet potato, mashed potato. A lot of places are going to charge you if you want the sweet potato, you're going to pay extra for it. You want it loaded, you're going to pay extra for it.
Yeah.
So they're doing good there, I think. I would say Brussels sprouts and asparagus aren't your ordinary run-of-the-mill sides that you see every place offering. So I don't gripe as much about that. We have ordered the asparagus before, and I think for what we got, $2.79 seemed kind of expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just steamed asparagus.
Yeah.
You know, I want some char, I want some grill, I want some
Yeah.
extra stuff to it.
The soups, though, I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest gripe, again, is it's when you are taking the popular items and moving. And what usually happens is on your normal sides list, you're only left with like 3 things or 4 things. You know, you're left with a very small, and it's usually stuff that probably is coming frozen, or it's something that can be made in big bulk. You know, and I know it's a numbers game, it's a price thing, and I get that. But we're also not stupid as consumers. And so you're not quite fooling us by those places that are offering just the thing that's popular. We're just going to shift it over into the premium.
Let me tell you my other complaint with Longhorn, though. And this is my biggest gripe with them. And this didn't just happen to them. This happened to a lot of places when COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
They downsized their menu.
Yeah.
Now, some places need to downsize their menu.
Yes.
I'm not always a fan of have 37,000 things on your menu. You know what you do good and do those things only. That's
Right.
fine with
Yeah.
me. But for whatever reason, they offered, and they had a banger of a chili cheese fry at Longhorn, and they got rid of it. They said, well, because of COVID, we're getting rid of it. I never got COVID from eating chili cheese fries, people. Bring it back, okay? That's not what caused it. Don't blame chili cheese fries.
Yeah. And
And I hate that.
Longhorn's great, though. I think it's the tops of this list for sure. Oh, I just made that screen go away. All right. You give us one now.
Okay, then let me give you what I would say is the runner-up and their competitor, Texas Roadhouse.
Really? You've got them next.
I think so.
Wow. Okay.
I think so.
You want it 1?
I want them number 2.
Okay.
I want them number 2. You don't think that Longhorn and Texas Roadhouse are the 2 closest competitors?
No.
Really?
I think I'm tempted to go ahead and hit the button on it, and we'll just talk about them in order. But I'm going to wait. I think there's another one to me that is closer in relation to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Texas Roadhouse,
Which is a big deal in our small town because we
just got one.
We got one here, and that has been the big to do. Like, you can't go there. We wanted to go there Saturday night after my daughter's birthday party with the family, and my brother he went ahead of us to get us a table. He calls back, and goes, "Yeah, it's at least a 2-hour wait here."
every time I've looked, it's been an hour and a half to 2+ hours.
Stays packed.
So we haven't gone either.
We've gotten it to go a couple of times, and I've got some gripes about that experience.
Okay.
That I can get into in a little bit.
Yeah, let's get into that. Here's my. I think that Texas Roadhouse, they have been inconsistent for me on their steaks. I have had the last 3 times I've been there, I've had improperly cooked steaks.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really kind of disappointing. What I will give them credit for is always trying to go above and beyond to fix the problem.
Really?
The difficulty is after you've sat there for X amount of time and it's not right, and then they go back to cook another steak. After the 3rd attempt, the manager finally was like, you know what? The meal's on us today, but everybody else is done eating.
Right.
And I've eaten the rest. I've eaten my sides and everything. So then I just, so good on them for trying to make sure that it's done right.
Right.
I just wish that they were that good when they had gone in the first time to cook it.
How often are you taking a steak back? Like, how picky are you when it comes to that? Because there's a big range of people. Like you like, I have to have it perfect. You're going to make it perfect for me.
No,
if it's a level off.
Yeah, if you can get close, I'm going to eat it.
Okay.
But like the last time I was there, I had ordered a medium rare steak, and as soon as I touched it with a knife, I mean, it was hard as a rock.
Blue steak.
And no, it was the other way. And the server knew. She's like, "Can you cut into it for me?" And so I'm like, I'm sawing on this thing, and I finally cut it, and it was gray.
Wow.
All the way through. And so I was like, well, I think I might try to eat it. And I took one bite, and she was like, I don't think you're going to enjoy that. And I was like, no, I'm not going to enjoy it either. She said, let me get another one for you. So
did you take it home for the dog? They let you take it.
she just took that one, 20 minutes later, brought another one back. The manager brought it that time, and it was just as bad, if not worse, as the first steak. And the manager she was like, I'm so sorry. She said, I don't know why we can't cook a steak, but obviously we can't. So she came back in 5 minutes with a perfectly cooked steak.
Yeah.
That must have been somebody else's. I don't know. And that's been my experience the last couple times is if you can get me, if I order medium rare and it comes out anywhere from medium rare to medium well, I'm just going to eat the steak.
Right.
I'm usually not a send it back guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to cause extra headaches in the kitchen.
And you don't want to be.
And I don't know what's going to happen to my food if it gets sent back there either.
That's right.
So
you were lucky that a manager came out because at least that tells you that maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And they watched you cut it open. So it's not like you were just being a Karen,
Yes. Yeah. That's the thing.
So my complaint, and there's really good things about Texas Roadhouse. We're going to get into it in just a second. I'm sure. For me, I have not had a bad experience at their restaurant. Every time I've gone to their restaurant, wherever it is, it's been a fantastic experience. Steak is great. I've always loved their steak. Their steaks are very, very good. Their rolls are incredible. Woo. They have some of the best rolls, and the butter is fantastic.
Cinnamon butter.
Here's the problem I have. The last few times I've gotten it to go. They have not included those famous rolls.
That's a problem.
They have not included many things in there, and it's not like they're just missing whole meals. Because I'm a person. I check the bag whenever I get the food before I leave the place, and to be really honest with you, I thought, well, maybe they just don't include rolls in their to-go order. And then I asked somebody this past week, and they're like, oh yeah, we get rolls every time we do to-go. I was like, okay, I'm asking next time. But it's also like there's no silverware, there's no sauces that we ordered. There's just little things on the baked potato. Lauren will order it this certain way, and it doesn't have half the things on there. It's got the obvious things you see, but then it's missing things that
right.
So it's been consistently inconsistent the last couple of times we've been there and got it to go. But like I said, in the restaurant, it's been fantastic, and so. I love Texas Roadhouse, but it's hard for me to say it is top tier when there's been a few miscues. Plus, to me, their sides for me seem a little generic.
Okay.
And some of their veggies and stuff like that, their mac, it just seems, and they've got steak fries. I'm not a steak fry fan. I don't like the thick.
It's probably not my top 3 favorite kind of fry.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, a lot of times I like to take my fries and drag it through the steak juice that's there.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it with theirs because I'm usually going to fork and knife the fry. Their sides. Let's go back to our little game we're playing. Premium sides. They only list one premium side here, and that is mac and cheese. They're charging an extra 99 cents if you want mac and cheese. Now, this must be fairly new to the menu because in the past, I don't remember them ever having mac and cheese, and I have not tried theirs. So I don't know what it is. And I take some of that back. I think I do remember hearing that they offered kids macaroni and cheese, but it was just sort of like Kraft. So I don't know if that's the same thing as this or not. If it is, 99 cents is too much to charge for that. But then you can make your premium side of macaroni and cheese even more premium by paying an extra $1.29, I guess.
So their premiums are inconsistently priced?
You can add cheddar and bacon to your mac and cheese.
There's layers to the premiums.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting.
So why is that not just your premium? Like, okay, see, this is where I'm talking about. Make your mac and cheese a basic, and then if you want premium mac and cheese, it's got loaded stuff on it. That makes sense to me. But do not make it a premium, and then you can pay more to get even more on top of that. You get me riled up with the premium sides, man.
Let me tell you what I do appreciate, though, and that is the fact that none of the other sides are premium. And I think
all of their sides are just...
Other than the mac and cheese.
Okay.
You can get a cup of Texas red chili just as your normal side.
See, there you had one small miscue, Texas Roadhouse.
That
perfect.
Have you had their chili?
I have not.
I think it's pretty good chili.
Really?
It's pretty tasty for chain chili. Their salad, I think, is better than Longhorn's side salad.
I do like their salad, yes.
I mean, it comes with everything in it. I mean, you can eat, unless you don't. I like the boiled egg in my salad.
Yeah.
Some people don't, but it comes with boiled egg. It's got the croutons. It's got the cheese. It's got everything.
Right.
It's a hefty side salad that you can get.
Longhorn, I think, they got a Caesar.
Yeah.
That's usually what I get.
That's the one that I get there.
Because the other one's lettuce, maybe some carrot and onion.
Yeah, it's pretty...
It may not even have carrot on it.
It's pretty slim.
Yeah,
it seems like
basic.
So those two, because I usually get the chili and then a salad, and they always bring those out. So it's like sort of having like a little soup and salad before the steak gets there. The fries,
demerit to me.
To you,
to each their own.
I'm not going to knock them on those. They're not my favorite, but then the rest of the sides, like corn. The vegetables is usually just sort of like broccoli and carrots that...
It feels like frozen steamed vegetables.
It's what it is.
Same with the corn. I had the corn. It's buttered corn. I was thinking on the cob, it was shelled. Is that how you... It was uncobbed corn. It was good corn, but it was just like, it's not what you're expecting from a steakhouse,
You can order as a side sauteed mushrooms, sauteed onions. They have rice, the sweet potato, the baked potato, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But a few of those sides do just kind of feel like you went to the buffet and they had opened up a can in the back and got it out of there.
I'm going to take, for my number 2, the one that I think is closest to Texas Roadhouse, and that is Outback Steakhouse. To me, those two are closer than Texas Roadhouse is.
Really?
So Outback, again, see, now I'm going to speak in a way, some of you may get this kind of vibe. I don't know. We have a local chain here called Colton's. Texas Roadhouse feels closer to that to me.
Okay, it's Western. They really lean into the Texas
very
thing.
lean into the Western. So it doesn't feel as fancy and nice.
No, it's not fancy.
It is very much.
It's loud.
Your loud bars like
it's
scene.
Chili's.
Yeah, it's similar to that.
Applebee's.
So when I think of Longhorn, where I think it's a little bit quieter, a little bit, you can make it into a nicer. It can go either way. Outback to me is kind of that vibe. It's not like it's a nice restaurant, but you can dress it up a little bit. It's usually a little quieter. It's a little bit, just tamer. But their food is incredible. Outback steaks are one of my favorite. They're in my top probably 3.
I feel like they're usually consistent.
They're very consistent. Their sides are incredible. Also, they got great appetizers. We haven't even talked about a lot about appetizers, but they've got they're most famous for aside from steaks, their blooming onions, and the bread. They got great bread there too with great butter. Butter's always softened. It's usually the brown bread is what we always call it.
Yep.
So they're always good. Always solid.
I don't have any complaints about my visits that I can remember to Outback. I was trying to get the here it is. Clicked on the wrong button. I assume that you always order the steak?
98% of the time, yes. There's been a few times I haven't, but
it's always been good.
I like how they lay out their steak or their options as well. You can really kind of they do a great job of showing you what the different cuts are.
Yes.
And they have them kind of broken up into categories also.
I also like how they give you the steak guide over here.
Yep.
I hope that their steaks come out looking the way that they show you that.
They're pretty close.
Now, how do you feel about, like, they have this plus it up thing where you can add stuff to your steak?
A lot of them are doing that now.
Do you ever add anything to your steak?
If I'm feeling like a fancy boy, I will. Like if it's anniversary night, if it's something like that.
What are you going to add to your steak?
If I'm adding anything, it's usually maybe some mushrooms or some grilled onions. That's usually it.
I just kind of like to eat my steak naked.
I do too, and that's the reason I go for those two, because I know it's not going to sauce the whole thing. It's not going to be over the top. It's just going to be, and usually I ask for it on the side.
Okay.
Like I want to be able to include it with that bite, but I don't want it covering my steak.
And I think we both come from the same school of thought. I don't want sauce on my steak.
Right.
If it's a good steak, it's going to stand alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want anything getting in the flavor of that nice marbled, beefy ribeye.
Absolutely. But I do like. I mean, surf and turf. So there's grilled shrimp and steamed lobster tail on this list to plus it up with that steak. I mean, but I don't know that I want it on top of it.
Sure,
I want to enjoy it with it.
I was trying to get down here to their sides.
Yep,
premium sides. They here's the thing. They offer 3 classic sides.
Yeah, this is a big demerit against Outback.
They offer fresh seasonal veggies, mixed veggies, or rice. You can get a baked potato, a house salad, fries, that kind of thing. Here's their premium sides though. $3. This is the highest yet that we've seen for Steakhouse mac and cheese. I don't know if I've ever had theirs or not.
I don't know. I'm sure I have, but I don't remember.
I think that I probably just have an aversion to wanting to spend $3.
Extra dollars.
I mean, you're already paying $30 probably. I didn't even look at the price.
So here's the thing also. Your premium side, that cost you're charging, we're assuming, and I think wrongfully, I think this is a little trickeration on these restaurants' part. So it says here the a la carte price for the classic sides is $4. The a la carte price for the mac and cheese is $6. That's a $2 difference, correct? Yet we're going to add $3 if you get this side, premium side. The math don't math. You're actually paying $1 more than if you just got it as an a la carte option. Explain it to me, Outback. Explain it. I love your food, but explain it.
They are offering asparagus, once again, as a premium side.
Should not be a premium.
Loaded mashed potatoes. for $3. A blue cheese pecan chopped salad, $3. A wedge salad. The wedge salad, I really don't understand charging extra for. It's literally just a wedge of iceberg lettuce, and they pour a little bit of dressing over it and some bacon. It's the least amount of work that can go into making a salad.
I love a wedge salad.
A wedge salad is great. It's just, you're telling me to give me a wedge of lettuce and put some bacon on. It's just bacon and lettuce. There's no...
We're going to rename this episode Our Rant Against Sides.
Tasmanian chili.
Sounds good.
I've never had it.
Haven't either.
Over the top Brussels sprouts, $4.
Yeah, it's just the pricing thing. Why are we paying half the price that you would pay for some entrees just for a premium side?
I had a good burger at Outback one time.
They've got great other foods, yes. Their combos are good. They've got good seafood there also. They've got good shrimp.
I've had some grilled shrimp.
Like that. Yeah.
The coconut shrimp, I remember liking that one. Mm-hmm. They do have some cheese fries, but is it a requirement that you have a bloomin' onion if you go there?
It feels like it, right? Like you should do it. And I think we typically do.
A lot of places I go and I'm like, I'm not gonna get that. But at Outback, it feels like it's just part of the cost of going. Like it's an entry fee.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, there's a cover charge of buying a bloomin' onion to get the rest of the meal.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about it, but like Texas Roadhouse, one of my favorite apps there is the rattlesnake bites.
That's the
it's little fried balls.
Yes, of
not rattlesnake.
No.
I want to say it's like jalapeno poppers basically. It's got some jalapeno
that's what I was
cream
thinking.
cheese. It might have some kind of a meat in it, but I don't know if it does.
You might be thinking of Rocky Mountain oysters.
Yes.
That's the original sack
which I've
lunch.
had more times than I care to admit.
Didn't even get my joke.
I'm going to put, if I haven't said it yet, I'm going to put Outback at 2. What else you got?
Let me give you one. I'm going to take this number 1.
Okay.
And it is Tucano's Brazilian Steakhouse.
Okay.
This is a chain.
I have not heard of it.
Many of you may be familiar with Texas de Brazil.
I was about to say, if I'm taking a Brazilian steakhouse, I'm going to go Texas de Brazil.
Fogo de Chão. There's a handful of others.
Some Jesus. We got a Baptist speaking in tongues over here. Look at that.
Oh. So you could just say Brazilian Steakhouse if you wanted to.
Okay.
I'm specifically taking the Tucano's.
Okay.
I know a lot of some of the articles I looked at put Texas de Brazil up at the top or the other Fogo up at the top. And I have been to them. Tucano's just happens to be the one that I think I've enjoyed the most.
Where's it at? Or where are they located? I'm sure probably Colorado.
Yep. They've got them in Colorado, New Mexico, Idaho, Utah, and then St. Charles, Missouri. So Western U.S. and St. Charles, Missouri. Just not a ton of locations across the country.
Yeah.
But in fairly well-known places like Boise, Albuquerque, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City. The reason I'm taking Tucano's, let me start here. The reason I'm taking Tucano's over Texas de Brazil or Fogo is simply Brazilian steakhouses seem to charge a premium when it comes to steakhouses. Yeah. Because it's sort of the buffet of steakhouses in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
There's no sneeze guard. They bring it to you.
You can eat all you want. But I think that you actually probably end up eating less steak at the Brazilian steakhouse than you do when you go to Longhorn and order the 20-ounce ribeye. I don't think most people are eating 20 ounces of steak.
That's interesting.
And you're going to pay probably $50+ for your meal at one of those given places.
Right.
Tucano's is an exception. We typically, this is an anniversary meal for us. This is kind of one of those places that you're probably going to go once a year,
Right.
twice a year, birthday, anniversary, something like that. It's got to be big. So Colorado Springs, I want to say we typically end up going at lunch just because that's when we happen to be through there. But their lunch, which serves everything with the exception of maybe one or two meats, it's like $20 a plate. It's incredibly reasonable.
That is pretty good.
You go at dinner, it's, I don't know, $25, $27.
Yeah.
It's right in line with going to any other steakhouse.
Yeah.
You go to Texas de Brazil, Fogo, you're paying $50, $60 a person.
Easy.
And the quality of Tucano's has been just as good that I found as it is at Texas de Brazil or Fogo or any other Brazilian steakhouse. Those I'm missing Rodizio. That's the other one I was thinking of. And in fact, I think Rodizio might be the most popular, but I found it out of all the ones I've been to probably be the least good.
Really? I've only been to Texas de Brazil. That's the only Brazilian place I've been to.
Okay. I like being able to try all the different cuts.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
At Tucano's, and most
there's swords. There's swords.
Yes. But a
Who
place
doesn't like
that
swords.
they're just roasting the meat over open fire back there.
Yeah.
And then you get the buffet of all the stuff that goes along with it.
Mm-hmm. And the little whatever it is, whatever place you go to, the sign, the thing you flip or you turn,
Green or red.
that gives you ultimate power. It makes you feel like a king.
You can eat until you get the meat sweats.
Yeah, absolutely.
For real.
And it's easy to do.
It is hard to resist because there's no premium sides here. You're paying a premium to get in the door, except at Tucano's. I think there's great value there, but they have some incredible stuff offered up on their bar. It's hard to resist that, but I try to resist the temptation to go up there and overload on that because I want to get my money's worth on the steak.
Yeah. It's the star of the show. And
you bring me some chicken things, but I don't want the chicken.
No.
Don't bring me the pork. I'll have a little bite of the pork.
Yeah.
But no, bring me the picanha. Just keep bringing picanha by the table.
Yes.
Give me some garlic beef, things like that.
Yeah, you want stuff that you don't normally get. That's my rule. I know we've disagreed at different times about different things, but I think steak is one of those things we can agree. Like I want the classics, but I want to try some stuff too. Some of the good stuff.
So here it is. It's $21.95 at lunch, and $32.95 at dinner. So it's right in line with. $32.95 at dinner is right in line with Longhorn, Texas Roadhouse, Outback on any of the big steaks that you're going to get.
Absolutely.
That's not a bad price at all.
Not at all
for what you're going to get. And then just quickly, let me kind of contrast it with Texas de Brazil. That's probably the second most widely known one. Mm-hmm. Some of these places can be very fancy. Like they want you to dress up to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Tucano's is very casual. It doesn't cost.
It makes me hungry looking at that home screen.
Fire roasted meat.
I don't know what we're doing for dinner tonight, but steak may now be on the menu.
Man, I don't like it when places don't put their prices on here.
Yeah.
Why don't they have one?
Probably because it varies by location.
I bet it does.
Your bigger cities are probably charging more than your others.
Anyway. Oh.
Yeah, it just looks good.
It looks good.
It just looks good. Go look at
flaming sort of meat.
Texas de Brazil website. They're doing a great job with their site, aside from their their prices.
But at least you've already paid your premium, so I don't feel as bad then when I'm not having to pay extra for the stuff that's up here on the bar. Everything's
yeah.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Get it.
Okay, I am going to take a little bit of a left turn with my next pick, and
Taco Bell.
They do have steak, but I'm not far off. I'm going Cantina Laredo.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna put it at 3, and here's my reasoning. It is not necessarily a steak place.
Yeah,
it is a Mexican restaurant.
That's not what I think of.
But they've got great steak, and this is true of most Mexican places that I've found. a lot of Mexican places, you can get a great tasting steak for cheap. Now, I will say most of them are usually going to be smaller, thinner cuts.
Flank steak, skirt steak.
Yeah. There are some, like we've got some Mexican places, you probably do too, at wherever you're from, that have like a T-bone. Like we got a couple Mexican places here in town that do a T-bone.
Thin.
It's very thin, but the flavor is really good because usually they're seasoning the mess out of it. They're cooking it on the same flat top. They're cooking their fajitas and all the other things, their chorizos and stuff like that. So it's got great flavor. Cantina Laredo, their steaks that they usually put on their tacos and stuff like that. And you can get carne asada as well.
Yeah, they have a carne asada, fire-charred skirt steak with chimichurri sauce, lime marinated onions, avocado, black beans, and cilantro lime rice.
It's very, very good. And it's usually my go-to aside from the ahi tuna tacos. But they've got great other food too. So when we're talking about just kind of the overall experience, they do a great, great job. And I don't feel bad about having them on my list at all.
So you're saying if you wanted something in the steak adjacent category that's not just your traditional classic American, that this is the place to go.
To me, it's the place to go.
If you want Mexican, but you can go there and you can get a decent tasting steak.
You're not gonna, you don't have to get just tacos or an enchilada there. You can get carne asada and you can get some rice and beans and stuff like that too. But it's very, very good.
Let me tell you one thing that I do see here though that I want to gripe about at some places, and that is what they call their top shelf guacamole.
Yes.
The price that goes with some guacamoles, like they're at $12 for guacamole.
Yeah.
Guacamole has gotten ridiculous, and everybody is just Chipotle.
Yeah.
You try to get guacamole. I mean, you have to go take out a loan.
Guacamole has gotten out of hand because it's trendy. Like it's been trendy for the last 10 years. And so this is what now I will say most of the time the tableside guac is going to be better.
You think?
It absolutely is because the stuff in the kitchen has been sitting there for a while. So it gets slimy very quickly and stuff like that. So when they're making it tableside, it's all fresh and it is significantly better, my opinion. But the price, you're right, is outrageous. So much so we typically, sometimes we'll get it, but usually some of the dishes you get come with guacamole on it.
Yeah.
And so we usually do we'll do a cheese dip or sometimes. I don't remember if it's Cantina that does it. I know some other places have like the triple salsas, various sauces. So you'll get like a spicy, of an ancho. You'll get a mango. You'll get different things like that. Which you're anti-fruit salsa, aren't you?
Yeah. Don't put fruit in your salsa. Don't do that.
All right. What else?
Would you believe? I meant to mention this earlier when you Mashed has an article on the 29. They're ranking the 29 national steakhouses. I didn't know there were 29 of them.
I didn't either.
I thought it was much more limited than that. But they say there's 29. They ranked them from worst to best. They put Outback at number 24.
Are you serious?
Number 24.
My goodness.
You're way out of line. You're saying it's
according to them.
You're saying it's number 2.
I think it's the closest to Longhorn. I'm sure there's better steakhouses.
You took it number 2 though.
I took it number 2. Yeah.
So you're saying you think it's the number 2 national chain steakhouse, right?
To me, yes.
Okay.
I think it's the closest to Longhorn.
Okay.
Which was number 1.
Number 1. You think that's the best overall?
That I've had. I'm sure there's some on that list that I've never had. That may be,
Okay.
Like Ruth's Chris. I don't know that either one of it. Maybe you're going to mention Ruth's Chris. I've never been to a Ruth's Chris.
Neither have I. We almost went a couple of years ago for an anniversary. I just couldn't bring myself to pay that much.
That's where it gets to with a lot of these steakhouse chains. Some of them are so expensive.
You're over $100, maybe a plate.
Yeah, and it's just really knowing that I can make a great steak myself at home. It's hard to pay that much.
Oh, let me read you some of these and ask you if you know them. Sirloin Stockade.
Never heard of it.
Bonanza Steakhouse.
I've got that here.
Okay.
We can talk about it later.
Claim Jumper.
Never heard of it.
Steak 48.
Never. I may have heard of it, but I have no idea what it's about.
Haas's Family Steak and Sea.
Never heard of it.
Outback at 24.
Okay. I've heard of that one.
Logan's at 23. To me, that is a gross.
Yeah.
This is awful that Mashed has done this.
See, and so how can you take them seriously is what I'm saying.
Listen to what they say. Outback is way too expensive for what you get. and the quality of their meat never lives up to what you see on the commercials. Logan's, the quality of the food that you find at Logan's is very similar to Outback. The main difference is you get more bang for your buck at Logan's. I would say that's not accurate at all.
No, I disagree with that.
In fact, the day that we ate there, Eric and I, after tax and tip and everything, it was like right at $90. If I'm going to spend that much money, it had better been a whole lot better of a meal than what I had.
Right.
I was so annoyed. Urban Farmer,
Never heard of it.
Wolfgang Steakhouse.
I know of Wolfgang. I'm assuming that's his.
I assume it's Puck. Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't been there. Saltgrass at number 20.
I've got Saltgrass on my little notes app here.
Charlie Palmer Steak.
Never heard of it.
Morton's The Steakhouse.
I hear Morton's a lot, but I don't know anything about it.
Black Rock Bar and Grill.
Never heard of it.
Shula's Steakhouse.
I'm guessing that's Don Shula.
Don Shula, legendary NFL coach.
I don't know anything about it. I know who Shula is. I knew that he had a restaurant, but that's about it.
They offer a 48-ounce porterhouse steak.
Goodness.
Would you be interested to know that Eat This, Not That? I had a thing because I was looking for the worst steakhouses. They're the first thing that popped up. They were not ranking what the worst steakhouses were, but it had the meat. And one of the top things they listed was one from
Big Texan in Austin?
No.
Oh.
They listed, yeah, that would definitely be on there. They listed, I believe it was from Outback. It was like a 22 or 24 ounce steak, and they said nobody needs this much steak. I'm like, no, who are you to decide
Right,
that?
yeah.
Like, what? No.
You're the same people just say don't eat red meat, so we don't. trust
Stony
you.
River Steakhouse and Grill.
Never heard of it.
Black Angus Steakhouse.
I have heard of it.
I haven't heard of that one.
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
The Keg Steakhouse and Bar.
Never heard of it.
Texas Roadhouse at 12.
Okay.
Smith and Walensky.
Never heard of it.
Sounds like a law firm, doesn't
does
it?
sound like a law firm.
Certified public accountants.
Have you been wrong? Do you have mesothelioma?
Here's their top 10. Mastro's Restaurants.
Nope. Never heard of it.
Sizzler.
Okay. They've got Sizzler at 9?
They have Sizzler at number 9.
I don't trust this article.
They put Outback at number 24.
I don't trust this article.
Let's just stop right here for a second.
Sizzler is known for being cheap cuts and stuff like that.
So Sizzler, and in our part of the country, you have Western Sizzlin'.
Right.
They are not the same company, but they
not.
are identical.
The same thing.
It is low budget.
Yeah.
Get you a steak, and the buffet's included.
Exactly.
It's all low quality food.
Yeah.
It's not good.
No.
You're not going to get a good cooked steak.
No.
It's going to be a sirloin.
Yeah, it's sirloin. Yes.
And it's going to be, you're going to chew, it's leather.
It's stuck in the 80s. I mean, that's basically what it is.
They have sued each other back and forth over Sizzler and Sizzlin' name stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, this list has no merit.
Del Frisco's Double Eagle Steakhouse.
I don't know if it's the same Del Frisco's. There used to be a place in Little Rock that was called Del Frisco's. It was a chain. I don't know if it's the same thing. It was great. It's no longer there, so I don't know if they're tied.
Fleming's.
I hear about Fleming's all the time.
I have heard such great things about Fleming's. Is there one in Little Rock?
I don't think so. I think it's a West Coast thing. I don't know if I've ever seen one.
I think my sister, I think they have one in Tampa.
Okay. I've heard great things. I've
So
never
have
had
I.
it.
Houston's number 6.
Don't know it.
Longhorn number 5.
Okay.
This is the first part of the entire article of the places that I know where I feel like, okay,
I can get on board with it.
top 5, that's worthy.
I don't know what's
You're
coming
talking
up,
about
but-
chains.
Yeah.
Fogo, number 4.
Okay.
I would say sub a Brazilian steakhouse there of your choosing. Number 3, Ruth's Chris.
Okay.
2, the Capitol Grill.
Okay. I didn't know that was a chain.
I've never heard of it. And number 1, the Palm.
Never heard of it.
Neither have I.
So to me, these are not national chains. There may be more than one of them. You know, I just want to know how many of those restaurants are there to be on that list. When I think of a national chain, I want to know it's something you can get in any state. It's going to be in every city with 30,000 people or more. You know, like that's a national chain.
Yeah.
So it's hard to not just be mad at that list personally. You've got 2 more left. I've got 1 more left. I'm going to give you an opportunity to take one of yours before I go. We mentioned Ruth's Chris. I'm just going to move that off my thing here.
you took the ones that I like most. So now I'm kind of down here in bottom feeder territory.
I think I know what the top 4 is going to be. I think the first round is going to be pretty quick.
I'll go ahead and take Chili's
Okay.
right here at, I guess, number 3.
Okay. They got a decent steak.
I've had it. I've had it. I've had their steak. Okay. I don't know. I feel like they used to lean into steaks a little bit more than they do.
They've really started leaning into burgers, and apparently that's part of their new format. They're going to ditch the whole Southwest vibe.
Well, wait, what?
Maybe not completely, but they're going to push that and push burgers. Because apparently, according to one podcast I heard, that's been their biggest seller over the last 2 years has been burgers. And so they're going to lean hard into burgers. I guess kind of like Ruby Tuesday did.
Did Ruby Tuesday go out of business across the board? Somebody told me that the one in Conway closed recently.
I think I've still seen them.
Okay.
But maybe it's just the buildings.
Well, you know what I think about burgers.
Yeah.
I don't think they're top 25 food. I feel like we are overrun with burger places.
There are a lot of burger places.
So I don't know if this is a great move for Chili's.
Subpar burger places.
I think Chili's makes a decent burger.
See, I'm not a big on their burger. It's just,
Really?
it's too much. It's.
What's too much?
I like a good smash burger. It's like a greasy spoon kind of, just like their buns are too hard to me. There's too much bread. Their burgers are too thick. It's just.
Really?
Now I haven't had one in a while, so maybe they've changed things up. But my last recollection I had, that was my impression I had.
Okay. But we're mainly talking steak. I don't go to Chili's to get steak. I've gone there and had it before. It's pretty rare, but yeah.
They remind, their flavor is usually good because similar to like a Mexican place, the seasoning they use is pretty good. It's a crapshoot on how it's cooked.
Yes.
I mean, you just.
Yes.
You're just hoping
they're
for
not,
the best.
They're not training on steaks, and there's probably not a ton of steaks being ordered.
No.
Obviously. There are other things that I like at Chili's that would drive me to go there. So, if somebody said, hey, let's go get Chili's, and you have to order a steak, I could do it.
Yeah. They got good appetizers.
Yeah. I like their chips and salsa. I like their some of their dips.
Southwest egg rolls. They got wings. They got all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, you can interchange Chili's, Applebee's, TGI Fridays.
Those are all the same restaurant.
They're the same place.
It's the same place.
Yeah. Chili's, I guess, leans a little bit more Southwest, but I mean, they're the same place. I'm tempted. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do. I don't know if you're going to do the other one. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm just going to tell them both, and maybe you pick one before I get to. I don't know. Saltgrass and Bonanza. Now, I haven't had Bonanza in a very, very, very long time. Go ahead if you want to. I'm gonna give you the option to take one of them if you want.
Give me Saltgrass.
Okay. Saltgrass at 4.
Give me Saltgrass at 3 and move Chili's to 4.
Talk about Saltgrass.
This is at least a steakhouse. They do lean more steak than Chili's does. And I'm going to give them the nod. The best thing that I have had at Saltgrass Steakhouse is carrot cake.
Really?
They have an incredible carrot cake. I've had a couple good experiences at Saltgrass. I've had a couple bad experiences at Saltgrass. It's kind of a mixed bag there.
One of Lauren and I's first dates was at Saltgrass. Here's my anecdote.
Hang on, I was sitting here.
It's good. It's solid. It's. I would say it's your middle of the road. It does lean it leans maybe a little bit nicer.
It's not Texas Roadhouse.
No.
They're not line dancing in there.
Right.
All of that kind of stuff.
It's got a little bit more of a, not artisanal, but that vibe, it feels a little bit more like that. It's good food. I mean, there's nothing to complain about. Let's look at their sides, I guess.
This is where we've gone all day. Is down here to the sides. Okay. You get one side and your choice of soup or salad.
Ooh,
so
one side.
One side. Where are the sides?
So they're automatically picking one of the sides for you. That's a demerit.
Smoked macaroni and cheese is a normal side.
Okay. All right. Hey, Sawgrass.
They only have 2 upgrades. One, $1.99 for a baked sweet potato, $2.99 for asparagus.
Why are those there?
Like, if I was going to charge smoked mac and cheese.
Is asparagus that expensive for these restaurants? Or are people just not ordering it? And so
don't know.
They're just not buying it.
They've got fries, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, sweet potato fries, Brussels sprouts, fried onions, herb rice, smoked mac and cheese, flash fried green beans, and broccoli.
Now, their flash fried green beans are very good. That's one of the things I know we had there.
I have had those as well, and that is good.
They are good.
And they are proudly serving homemade Shiner Bock beer bread.
Ooh, nice. So anything a little different than that? I need to try them again. It's been a long time.
I was going to say,
had them.
It's probably been 6 years, 5-6 years since I've been there.
I took Bonanza with my last pick. I guess I can hit the button, but just for nostalgia's sake. I mean, Bonanza used to be great. And they had the great theme song. Honestly, the commercials were fantastic as well because you had that theme song, you had the throwback. So
why did they go out? What happened to Bonanza?
I'm not sure. I don't know if the times got to it. I remember Bonanza and Shoney's. You know, that era was great when it came to restaurants. But R.I.P.
Let's see. Here we go. I like their website. They also have the Ponderosa Steakhouse.
So they must still be around then.
They must still be around. It's the ponbon.com. That's pretty cool. Ponderosa Steakhouse, Bonanza Steakhouse.
Wow.
Locations. Let's see where they are.
Let's see.
It's thinking. All right. It looks like sort of the
Ponderosa.
There's a Bonanza up here in Minneapolis. Okay. There's some Bonanzas out in Pennsylvania, Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin.
So they're
Kentucky,
much
Virginia.
Dwindled down from back in the day.
Yeah. Let's see. Closest one here in Lebanon, Virginia is a Bonanza.
Oof, man.
Let's look at their menu. They have a buffet.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
Yeah, I remember they had a buffet, so you could order your steaks. It was a nicer version of Sizzlin'.
Okay.
And the Sizzler. Yeah.
They got fried chicken, baked chicken, chicken wings, meatloaf, tacos, chicken biscuit pie, fried fish, spaghetti and pasta sauce, pizza, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese on the buffet.
Can't go wrong.
So I guess you just order your steak and you get the buffet with it.
Yeah.
So that's included.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we can't gripe at them.
You can't grab out their sides.
About that. It's all just, you're going to get it. What quality you get, I don't know.
Yeah. Quality's probably not going to
I'm going to have a piece of fried fish and some spaghetti and noodles with my steak.
Or you just get the bar, I'm sure.
You probably can.
Yeah.
You probably can. Wow, is Ponderosa? I guess they're the same exact thing. They just changed the name.
I'm assuming it's a Carl's Jr. Hardy situation.
Oh, there we go. There's some pictures of it.
It looks good. Of course, the pictures are always going to look good, right? I guess sometimes they can't. Okay. Anything else to add before we bracket?
Hang on. I was looking for one that I may wanted to have swapped mine for.
You've not found it yet.
I haven't. I feel like this is the name of it, though.
I want to give a nod, though, to Lone Star Steakhouse. That's one that I know. It's very similar. It feels like again, I'm going to say Colton's to us. Like it's a similar to Texas Roadhouse, stuff like that. I think it's more of a smaller chain, but I have had it before and it's pretty good.
Give me just like 30 more seconds here.
We're going to give him 30 seconds. That's a long time. I don't know if I can ramble that long. I will say, while he's looking that up, if you haven't yet, you're listening an hour into this, help us out. Spread the word. Send a text message. If you know a steak lover, send this to them. Let them know. We're talking about steak today. Follow us on all the socials at Best Things Pod. We'd love your feedback, so send that to us as well. Comment, leave a review. We don't talk about that very much any often because we kind of gave up on it because y'all didn't do it. If you've never given a review yet, please do. Even if you hate the thing, you can keep that to yourself. But you can write your opinion and just give us 5 stars. That'd be great.
Okay,
You found
the
it yet?
place I was looking for apparently is not a chain. I thought it was, but it wasn't.
What was it?
There was a steakhouse in Asheville, North Carolina.
Gotcha.
And I just forgot the name of it now. Black Oak Steakhouse, something like that.
Gotcha.
That was really good, and I thought that it was probably a chain, but I guess it's just a standalone restaurant. So
All right. Well, listen, before we bracket this thing out, I mentioned something in the last episode that we were going to do, and we're going to try it this time around. We're going to try asking each other trivia questions, and we're going to see. We may do this from time to time and keep a running total, and maybe at the end of the year or something, we'll see who wins. But we're going to ask each other questions about this topic, and I don't have any real theme music for it, but we're asking ChatGPT, AI, to help us ask these questions. So, Aaron, I thought it was only fitting that we also have AI create the theme music for this.
oh,
And so there's an app called Suno that creates music for you. You just give it a prompt. And so I gave it the prompt, write a jingle for our podcast doing trivia. And this is what it spit out. This is AI. AI.
Welcome to the Best Things Podcast. Get ready for the ultimate blast. Share knowledge, see what you know. I'm trying to find
I mean, AI is
Wow.
getting fancy.
wow, they're fancy like Applebee's.
Now I know you're a fan of good old Southern gospel, right? So I said,
yeah.
hey, give
Yeah,
me a Southern gospel
Southern
option.
gospel,
This
country.
is what it gave me.
Will and Craig got a podcast show.
Oh.
The mission trivia that you got to know. From movies and tech to food and pop culture, they're gonna challenge you like no other. It's the Best Things Podcast in town. Get your brain ready, let the questions go around. Sing
Get your brain ready. Let the questions go around.
Get your brain.
I kind of like. I don't know. There's parts of that I like. Other parts of it felt.
I don't know that it knows what Southern gospel really is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it heard Southern. That's all it got.
Yeah. It really leaned into the Southern, but there were some parts there that I liked. That the rest of it had potential.
It had potential. Okay. We want to go back and forth. We'll go back and forth. We'll do 3 questions each. I'm going to keep score here. And we're going to see who can get the most right. Okay, here we go. My first question to you, Aaron. You're going to try not to look at the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to look at yours.
Let's see here. What year was the first Texas Roadhouse restaurant opened?
Okay, Texas Roadhouse. Ooh, this feels like it's got to be. This isn't super old. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with 1991. Am I in the right decade?
You're in the right decade. You were only 2 years off. 1993.
Wow.
No point awarded.
Wow.
All right, fire away.
Okay. Let me get to it. I had this open earlier and then I accidentally closed it, so I've lost my. I had some good questions here. All right. Well, let's go with Longhorn then.
Okay.
What year was it founded?
I'm going to say it's older. And I'm going to say 19. Actually, maybe it's newer. I want to stick with my guns and go older. I'm terrible at trivia. 1988.
It's a good guess, but it's not right. But you're in the correct decade.
Am I?
It was 81.
Oh, man.
1981.
Okay, we're over so far. All right, Aaron. You're not gonna get this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Actually, I'll save that. Which national chain steak restaurant boasts the slogan "The sizzle starts here"?
I'm going to guess Sizzler.
Incorrect.
Oh,
Outback.
really?
I think they must have changed it. I don't remember it being that. All right, next question for you.
Let's see. again, I'm trying to get my questions back up here and hope that they give me some of the same ones. Like some of these are dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's AI.
AI needs some improvement.
It does need some improvement, but it's getting pretty far.
Okay, here we go. Which steakhouse chain uses the tagline "Legendary Steaks, Seafood, and Salads"?
Legendary steaks, seafoods, and salads. I'm going to guess. Oh man, I don't think it's Longhorn. I don't think it's Roadhouse. I don't think it's Logan's. Maybe it is. I'm gonna go Logan or Longhorn.
Longhorn?
Yeah.
You're correct.
Oh yeah. Tick for Craig. Okay. Which steakhouse? This is my last question to you. Which steakhouse chain is named after a famous cattle trail in the United States?
Read that question again.
Which steakhouse chain is named after a famous cattle trail in the United States?
Huh. Don't think it's Texas Roadhouse. Could be the Ponderosa. I mean, that was the name of that place that they lived on Bonanza. They lived at the Ponderosa. A cattle trail. I know the old Chisholm Trail. Is there an old Chisholm Steakhouse that I haven't known about?
Which steakhouse we have talked about?
It's a steakhouse we've talked about. Probably not the Outback Steakhouse, since it's from Australia. Let's go with Saltgrass.
Incorrect. It is Longhorn.
It's Longhorn.
Longhorn.
Wow.
It's the Longhorn Cattle Trail. You went 0 for Aaron.
I did.
Give me your last one.
All right. Where was the first Longhorn Steakhouse restaurant opened?
Oh man, did we talk about that? We talked about 2 of them, and I couldn't. I don't think we talked about Longhorn though. I'm gonna say, well, if we're basing it on a cattle trail, I'm gonna think it's out in the west. It's gotta be Texas if it's Longhorn. So I'm gonna say San Angelo.
San Angelo, Texas?
Yeah.
That's not correct.
Oh, dang.
It first opened in Atlanta, Georgia.
So we did talk about that one. Oh, man. For some reason, I thought it was Texas Roadhouse. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I have 1 point. You have 0.
Yeah, 1-0.
So we'll see if we continue that on or not. All right. Let's bracket it out now, shall we?
If you want to be the best, you have to beat the rest. This is the Best Things Bracket.
Alrighty. We have 8 places that have steak. We're going to figure out which one is the best one. I have an idea. I had an idea while we were talking, and I'm going to leave it up to you whether or not we do this or not.
Okay.
Since we talked so much about steaks, sides, breads, prices, and service, I thought, why not each of these places we give those a scale from 1 to 5 in each of those categories and let the math decide which one's the best.
Okay. It's good with me.
Okay. So let's talk about Tucano's Brazilian Steakhouse. It's going up against Bonanza.
Okay.
Or do you want to use this to break ties? Because some of these are probably pretty obvious.
Sure. We can use it to break ties.
Okay. So Tucano's or Bonanza. 3, 2, 1. Tucanos. Texas Roadhouse, right? I can't read my own handwriting. Yes, Texas Roadhouse versus Cantina Laredo. 3, 2, 1. Texas Roadhouse. We have a Longhorn versus Chili's. 3, 2, 1. Longhorn. We have Outback versus Saltgrass. 3, 2, 1.
Outback.
And that's what I said about I think I know what the 4 are going to be.
Those that, yeah.
So I'll tell you what, let's go from this round
Okay.
and do this.
Sure.
Tucano, steak. Judging their steak on a scale from 1 to 5.
5's the best.
5 being the best, 1 being garbage. 3, 2, 1.
3.5.
Okay. I'm going to have to trust you on this. I have not been there.
Okay.
So I'm just going to let you give the numbers on this. Sides, what do you give it?
5.
Bread.
They have that little Brazilian cheesy stuffed bread.
Ooh.
Phenomenal. It's a 5.
5s across the board. Almost. Ironically, the steak is not a 5. Price. Or I should say value,
You know,
maybe.
I'm going to give that a 5.
Yeah, we're going to go value instead of price.
At $32 for unlimited.
Okay. Service.
4.
All right. Tucano gets a score of 5, 10, 15, 19, 20, 21, 22.5 is their total. All right. Texas Roadhouse. Man, my eraser doesn't want to work. All right. Texas Roadhouse. Steak, 1 to 5, 3, 2, 1, 4. Side dishes, 3, 2, 1, 2. Man, lockstep. Bread, 3, 2, 1, 5. Are we the same person? Value, 3, 2, 1, 3.
Are we combining our numbers here?
We'll take the average. How about that?
Yep.
Service, 3, 2, 1, 3.
3.5.
Okay. Math. Oh, gosh, math. 4, 6. You're faster at math than me, so if you see the number, spit it out.
So there's 11 and a 4 and a 3, so that's a 3.5. So 14.5 and what? Another 3.25.
14.
So 17.75. Is that right?
For average?
Yeah.
Sure. We'll round it up to 17 and a half. Okay, Longhorn. Erase. Isn't it captivating watching me do that? This may have been a bad idea. Longhorn steak, 1 to 5, 3, 2, 1, 5. Side dishes, 3, 2, 1, 4. Bread, 3, 2, 1, 3. Value, 3, 2, 1, 4. Service, 3, 2, 1, 5. Okay, I'm going to let you math that up.
All right, so we're the same here. So we got, 12, and then, let's see, a 4 and a 3, so we'll give it a 3.5. What did I say? We had 12, so there's 15.5, and another 4.5, so 20?
20? Works for me.
I don't know. Go with that.
Outback Steaks, 3, 2, 1, 4. Sides, 3, 2, 1, 4. Bread, 3, 2, 1, 4. Value, 3, 2, 1, 4. And service, 3, 2, 1, 4. Oh, 4s across the board, honestly.
So let's see here. We got 8 and
I got 20 for those. And then you got 4. It's 12. It's 18.
Yep.
19.
So it gets a score of 19.
All right. So Tucano takes it over Roadhouse.
Wow.
With a score of 22.5 to 17.5. Longhorn barely squeaks by over Outback with a score of 19 to 20. And listen, the math says Tucano takes it over Longhorn.
It does. But
I have not been to
But you don't
Tucano.
have the context of eating there
So
to see if you agree.
I'm going to let you vote on it.
So
You're the decider. I'm comfortable giving that to you.
because of there's vastly more locations of Texas Roadhouse, so it's easier to get to one of those. And I'm gonna give it to Longhorn.
Okay.
I'm giving the ultimate win to Longhorn.
Edge goes to Longhorn.
because when I think about going to sit down at a steakhouse, I'm thinking more of that than the Brazilian steakhouse where they're slicing it off.
Gotcha.
But I'm not mad at Tucano's being right there.
Yeah.
Or a Brazilian steakhouse.
I was fine handing that off to you because Longhorn got there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
at that point, I'm happy either way. So,
I think those four are the four
absolutely.
right.
And I guess you could insert whatever Brazilian steakhouse you want to.
Yeah. I think they're all fairly close in comparison.
Yeah.
A price might vary some from the others, and I would have knocked Texas Day Brazil or one of them for their value
Yeah.
a little more. But otherwise, I think we made the right choice, though, with Longhorn.
I agree. Let's find this out.
Best thing today. But is it the best thing of all time? It's time for the best thing battle.
Well, this is hard. We have Longhorn Steakhouse versus the two-time reigning champion, Macaroni and Cheese.
It's been a minute since we had a reigning champion
It is. I think since
of
last
more than
year.
1 week. Yeah.
So what's the decision going to be here? Would you rather have, you can only have one. You can only pick one of these. Which one is it? Macaroni and cheese, any version you want to, all the versions you want to, versus the restaurant Longhorn Steakhouse. 3, 2, 1. Longhorn. That's right.
Yeah,
If given the choice,
you can get the mac and cheese at Longhorn.
get all the mac and cheese you want over there. And you get steak and burgers and roasted Brussels.
Hey, if chicken tenders is your thing, Longhorn makes a decent chicken
they're
tender.
pretty good.
The filet at Longhorn, I think they call it. Is it Flo's? It's Flo's filet there.
I think so.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I've not had anything bad. From
I haven't
Longhorn.
either. No.
Nothing bad
Their
at all.
desserts are good too. We didn't talk about desserts at a lot of these places, but Longhorn's got good desserts.
I know that I've had.
Most of the time, they've got a good molten, and I've had a cheesecake from there too. It's very good.
Cheesecake, that's what I've had.
Most of the time at these places, though,
You're too full.
you're too full to get dessert.
You're too full.
But well, there you go. We did it. We did the thing. I was gonna say something, and I've forgotten what I was gonna say. Just completely forgotten it. So we're just gonna skip it. There's no need in saying it. Do you have anything else? Go get you some steak. That's what I'm gonna say. Go to a steakhouse.
Steak.
Go
It's
to a
what's for
restaurant.
dinner.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Does Cheddar's have steak?
Oh,
You said chicken tenders, and that clicked Cheddar's in my brain.
Oh,
I don't know if they have steak, though.
They do.
Do they?
They do. Because I always get the steak and chicken tender combo.
Oh man.
I would retroactively take Cheddar's over Chili's.
Yeah. Oh, good call. Absolutely. I would have taken them over
Bonanza?
Easy.
Cheddar's, the one that I've had is just a sirloin. I don't know if they offer anything bigger than that on its own, but I have had the sirloin, and you can get it like steak and chicken tender, steak and ribs, steak and shrimp combo, and it's a pretty decent little 6-ounce sirloin.
Cheddar's is solid. I've been there in a minute.
Man, yeah, I would take that in a heartbeat. I don't think I would take it over any of the 4 that we advanced, though.
Yeah, no.
So
no.
it doesn't
Didn't change anything.
doesn't change anything in the outcome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll do it for the best things. I am Craig.
I'm Aaron.
We'll talk at you next time, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Best Things Podcast. If you liked today's episode, subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening now. And remember, Connect with us on the socials at Best Things Pod, and you may hear your take on an upcoming episode.